Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp, and today we're going to look at a bunch of board games launching on Kickstarter this October. Don't forget to check out our Tantrum House board gaming podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere else you listen to your favorite podcast. Sugarplum Chronicles launches October 2nd. Players will move through the four realms of Sugarplum using a mix of chance and strategy, landing on colored coded candy tiles. Along the colorful candy road, players will face off against sweet and salty enemies using a D20 based combat system. The Zombie Doctor also launches October 2nd. It's a turn-based card-flipping game which forces you to make life-altering decisions, amputate, reattach, and even swap limbs with other players to stall the zombie infection. James Hudson with Druid City Games is bringing a follow-up game to Barnyard Roundup called Guardian's Call. This one promises a much deeper strategic framework, and the artwork is super cool. Wreck and Ruin launches October 3rd. It's a vehicle miniature board game set in a not-too-distant future of a post-apocalyptic world. It's for 2 to 4 players, and they can choose between 4 factions, make up their convoy from 4 classes of vehicles available. The game is played on a series of tiles which allow for different challenges each time you play. I believe Battle Scars will launch sometime in October. It's a fast-paced, high-impact tabletop mini-strategy game. Recruit an operator, select hot swappable equipment to adjust during precarious combat situations, make tough choices with tight resource management, and cripple your opponents with devastating damage events. In early October, we'll see Leviathan. It's an asymmetrical 2-player microgame, which offers a dynamic tactical battle at sea with a mere 18-card deck. The cards themselves are the playing pieces, and movement is measured out in real space on a flat surface. Sunset Over Water is a 1 to 4 player set collection game by Pencil First Games. It's coming to Kickstarter on October 3rd. You play as artists who are trekking through the wilderness to paint beautiful landscapes. You'll have to decide how early to get up, how far and which direction to travel, how many landscapes to paint, and when to sell your paintings. After 6 rounds, the player with the most renown wins. Check out our full review coming soon. We'll also see Patriots Redcoats on October 3rd. Players take on roles of the Americans fighting to win independence and the British are fighting to stop the rebellion. Players are secretly assigned to the Patriots team or the Redcoats team. A team wins by locating and assassinating the opposing leader or by winning 4 victories on the battlefield. Check out Will and Sarah's video review on our YouTube channel. We'll also see Panic on October 3rd. On October 10th, we'll see Detective City of Angels, set in the dark and violent world of the 1940s Los Angeles. It's a game of mystery, deception, and investigation for 1 to 5 players. Hopefully we'll be interviewing Evan from Van Ryder Games on an upcoming episode of our Tantrum House board gaming podcast. Neon Knights 2086 launches October 10th. It's a career-driven racing game for 2 to 6 players. You can play single races or in campaign mode, which allows you to level up your car and skills as you play. During the race, you will need to pass over certain street areas to activate weapons and shield you have on your car, which you can then use on other drivers. On October 10th, Honk the House by Kids Table Board Gaming will launch. We are ghosts competing to scare ghost hunters out of various rooms of our haunted house and collecting their exploration gears as trophies. Each ghost hunter is scared out only by a specific combination of scares. Each player has a hand of scares they will use to try and get those ghost hunters out. Tantrum House will be doing a video review of this soon. There will be a relaunch of Sigil Powers of War on October 10th. This is an action-packed, fantasy-based strategic battle game with 8 customizable factions. It takes all the excitement of dice combat and combines it with pre-built deck construction that allows for multiple strategies for victory. Choose your sigil, build your army, and prepare for war. On October 15th, we'll see Delivery Duck. You're a duck in a truck delivering packages. Unfortunately, ducks aren't very good at doing deliveries. Crates fall off vehicles and other players can steal your cargo. Delivery Duck is a strategic family game for 2 to 6 players. The Europa Incident will launch October 16th. It's a science fiction board game about the control of the most strategically and economically useful sites in the main asteroid belt of our solar system by mega corporations, transnational agencies, and armed organizations. The game uses a partially random hand of card with deck building mechanic through which it is possible to use available resources for infrastructure construction, technological development, and conflict management. We'll see Downfall on October 17th coming from Tasty Minstrel Games. Each turn players will draft and simultaneously play a card from their hand to indicate their action for the turn. This may be moving citizens or airships to explore or expand around the modular board, building structures, researching technology, initiating conflict, producing or gathering resources, and abating radiation. October 17th, Lucky Duck Games brings Fruit Ninja, a card master. It's a fast-paced deck-building game that allows 2 to 4 players to compete and prove their wit and dexterity. As ninja apprentices, they need to master their arts and prove to Sensei who is the most worthy trainee. Check out a review coming soon. Monsterlands from Second Gate Games launches October 17th. It's a competitive dice placement game that combines resource management, worker placement, and fun combat. You'll take on the role of the leader of a small clan of brave warriors competing to win the crown of the Land of the Discord. Legends of Sleepy Hollow by Greater Than Games is launching October 17th. Players take on the roles of the 4 residents: Jeremiah the Undertaker, Matthias the Revolutionary War veteran, the Minister Elijah Capel, and the Tanner Emily Van Winkle, in a cooperative, miniatures-based campaign full of secrets and twists. During the game, players will use action selections to move about, investigate, and interact with their environment, or unleash powerful attacks and abilities that are unique to each character. Players will have to work closely together to overcome their fear, unravel the mysteries of the Glen, and become true Legends of Sleepy Hollow. Check out our review coming soon. Too Many Bones Undertow, a standalone sequel expansion to Too Many Bones, is launching October 17th. Also on October 17th, we'll see Spirits of the Forest from Thundergriff Games. Time of Legends Joan of Arc launches October 17th. It's a story-driven board game that uses finely sculpted miniatures and 3D scenery to set the scene for a game of cunning and skill and a little luck. The game is a combination of interwoven card play, resource management, and positions on the board. Shifting Realms is coming sometime after October 19th. It's a 2 to 4 player game with elements of resource management and area control. It's designed by Jeff and Craig Van Ness. Craig designed Heroescape and The Queen's Gambit. You're playing as a faction of the Keepers who are trying to restore order after a temporal rift has caused the dimensions to shift. You'll be sending scouts and soldiers into the realms to collect resources and put things back together. Bigfoot vs. Yeti launches October 24th. You're an up-and-coming cryptozoologist mounting expeditions in the hope of proving the existence of unknown creatures such as Bigfoot and the Yeti. Echidna Shuffle launches October 25th, I believe relaunches. It looks like a pick up and deliver game, and you're Echidna moving bugs around the board. Goblin Goblins launches October 27th. It's a 2 to 12 player game where the object of the game is to defeat your opponents by being the greediest goblin in a sneaky battle for gross gourmet food. Flip the script on the horror films of the 80s with Monster Slaughter. At the head of the family of monsters, werewolves, vampires, zombies, or golems, this time you're the one who will have to hunt down and slay those insufferable teenagers who've taken refuge in a house in the middle of the forest. October 31st, we'll also see Museum Rush. And here are a few that I believe are launching in October, I just don't know when. Cultistorm from Purple Meeple Games, Overbooked by Random Skill Games, The Valley of Alchemists by Creative Maker, Deep Space D6 Armada, and an expansion to Brass Empire from Rock Manor Games. Intel from Fisher Heaton Games pits hacker against hacker in a 2-player 15-minute light strategy game where the fate of the corporate mainframe hangs in the balance. Do you have what it takes to outsmart your opponent and devise a winning strategy? I think we'll also see Best Treehouse Ever Forest Fun by Green Couch Games, which is a standalone game from Best Treehouse Ever. We'll be working on a video review of this one. Well, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.